got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Piece of Chaos. So, it's almost Christmas. And, well, yeah, it's almost Christmas again. Another year in this lockdown, another Christmas, another pandemic Christmas. Oh, man. This shit's getting old, isn't it? So, what I've been thinking about lately is well, a couple things. First of all, and though I am extremely tired of talking about COVID and all this stuff, it is impacting our entire world, our entire life, our entire mental health situation. And maybe it's just California. Maybe it's worse in California because we're still in this foolish attempt to stop or slow down the spread of COVID. I don't think we can anymore. And I'm not saying that to be defeated. I'm saying that it's just the reality is that this cannot be defeated. As my friend said, the bugs will win, eventually in their own way. I mean, hopefully they won't take us all out, but they will definitely have their way. Because, first of all, even if we tried again to do some kind of mandate or lockdown or some kind of, way to contain it, we're going to fail at it again because we didn't lock it down the first time. And, we have these indoor mask mandates here still. But I would say 60% of the people are doing it okay. The other 40% are either blatantly ignoring it in defiance or wearing the mask wearing the mask under their nose. So I guess they don't understand how breathing works or air works, and that their nose is, a participant in the process. So, let's say you're in a store or a restaurant. That store's better because you're not taking it off to eat, which is a whole other ridiculous thing. But let's just say you're in a place that you wouldn't need to take your mask off if you had to. And there's, let's say a grocery store. Grocery store's too big. Maybe like a little grocery store, like a Trader Joe's or something. Let's say there's 100 people in there at any given time. If 40 of them are not really following the rules, have the mask down around their nose, or are a kid or something, and whatever, we're just not going to stop it, is my point. I don't want everybody to get it, but I think everybody is eventually going to have to deal with this virus. And we'll see what happens. And that's what this Omicron variant apparently is a mix between the common cold and COVID. So, that's why it spread so quick, but doesn't. I guess I think what I read was it replicates 70 times faster in your in your throat, in your esophagus, which is why it comes with an itchy throat. But it doesn't do as well in the lung tissue, which is why it's not as tough for folks to get through. I don't know, man. I'm not a virologist. I'm not an epidemiologist. I don't know. I'm trying to pay attention to as many people that actually know what they're talking about as I can. And I know this week, I've talked about for years. I I like Joe Rogan, and I listened to his podcast. His podcast was inspiring. He inspired me to become a comedian. You know, like literally when, like said, you should do it. Like he seems like a good dude, and I've listened to him talk for so many hours. It's weird to hear him be so adamant and about his position, because he historically was a pretty open-minded person. But on this one, he seems to be really digging in. And I understand his reasoning for digging in. If you listen to his podcast with Peter McCullough, I think his name was, it got a lot of attention because he, supposedly exposed all these conspiracies and, these anti-vax guys who are now, just out there. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they can justify what they're doing, because they have to know what they're saying is wrong, especially if they're as smart as they claim to be. Going out and spreading bad information. It's just really upsetting. So anyway, Joe Rogan did this 3-hour podcast with this guy who's just basically a shyster. I don't know what you'd call him, but like, he knows the shit he's saying is wrong. The people he quotes are wrong. He uses all these logical fallacies and all these poor, like, tricks. I guess they're selling books, but it's so self-serving and so unnecessary at this point in time. And if you're on a podcast with someone, like, I love podcasts because you can talk for so long, but also you're unopposed for that long. And if you sound convincing while doing it and quote studies and all this stuff, it's people like, oh yeah, maybe this is, maybe, so here's the biggest logical problem with all of these things. This is my issue. The big conspiracy is that pharma is trying to get one over on us by forcing everybody to take this vaccine, and they make all their money from the vaccine. And, they're not telling us, or they're keeping us from these simple other things that would help us, these other therapeutics and these other drugs that are fine, like monoclonal antibodies, or I think remdesivir is one of those, the Regeneron thing, or hydrochloroquine, or all these other drugs that are supposedly these pills that are, the treatment for COVID or the preventative for COVID. And why are they pushing this vaccine? Why are they pushing the vaccine? It's like, listen, if the pharma companies were conspiring to steal or to take all this money to force us to take something, I really doubt their plan would be something, A, as complicated, and B, as difficult to produce as a vaccine. But also, vaccines don't make that much money compared to a pill or a therapeutic, because they're so hard to manufacture. And, if they're trying to do that with the vaccine and they're trying to keep us from the therapeutics, that just doesn't make any sense, because guess who makes the therapeutics? Pharma companies. So you can't really be against pharma for vaccine, but for pharma for these other things. And like, I'd rather get a vaccine than a infusion, so I don't know. It's just so bananas, but I guess it just sounds good coming out of their mouth, so people believe it or whatever. It's just dig into things a little bit before you go with it and assume. What I think is these vaccines are a miracle. They're only going to be so effective, and they're the same as any other vaccine, which is it's supposed to keep you from getting extremely sick, as opposed to, like a flu vaccine doesn't keep you from getting the flu. And when you get the flu after you have a flu vaccine, it's not even actually called a breakthrough case. It's just, you got the flu, but you didn't, die from the flu. I do think there's a point to the people working to be healthier against COVID is probably one of the best things you could do. Lose some weight, cardio health, etc. But I don't know. Now I'm thinking where we land on this is it's just going to be here. We can't get rid of it. Every year you get your COVID shot, you get your flu shot. You do your best. If you've already gotten COVID, you know generally how it's going to deal with you, based on, hopefully the mutations don't radically change its impact on you. Stay healthy, but it's coming. And so I think we need to switch to the Asian model, which for many, forever, as long as I've been traveling in Asia, when you're sick, you put a mask on. So if you have a cold, if you're sneezing, if you're sniffling, if you're coughing, and you're going to go out in the world, you put a mask on to prevent spreading to other people. Now, with COVID, obviously, if you're asymptomatic, you don't realize you're spreading to other people, and that's why you should wear the mask. But if you're symptomatic, it should just be a no-brainer. We need to adopt that in this country, that, even a regular cold. We never did it before. You'd always see, I know when I would travel, I'd be like, why are these people wearing masks? And people explained to me when I went to Japan one time, like, no, they do that because that means they have a cold. So this is to keep it from, you're like, oh, that is so nice, actually, and so smart. I think that's where we need to go, is if you even have a throat tickle, if you have a runny nose, throw a mask on, get a test, and stay home. And maybe that's become more socially acceptable to actually use your sick time, or to, not go out. But I mean, that's not an option for some people. We saw that, right? If you have a certain kind of job, you don't have sick time. You either work or you don't get paid. And some people can't absorb that loss. So we're in a tough spot. And we have to hopefully learn some things from this tough spot. But I don't know if we will. We'll see. Hopefully our kids will. But we'll see. So, Merry Christmas. Oh, man. I am excited for Christmas, though. I love Christmas. I love being with my kids at Christmas. And I don't know, man. It's just the best. It's the best. I've been doing a lot of home repair, home stuff. I like it. There's tools I need to buy. I like tools. I don't like to do everything. There's some things I just definitely don't like to do, but there's other things that I've started to embrace getting good at, because it's just practical when you have a house to know how to do some things. But lots of cool things coming up in 2022. One of the cool things that's happening is I'm going to be building a studio, both for music, so I can play and record drums, real drums with real microphones, and have just the ability to record again with Mariner 9, with, basically I can be a working studio musician. I can put drums on things. So that's going to be amazing. But being able to work with my band Mariner 9 again across the country, and create new things, that's going to be amazing. I'll be playing drums in the 90s cover band with Jacob Givens, soon to be named. So that's going to be really fun. I'm hoping live comedy comes back so we can get back to producing shows. That'll be fun as well. But having this studio, having this workspace, having this place, permanent, as permanent as you can be, permanent place, a good setup. It's going to be inspiring. I'm inspired to see what comes out of it, what I can create or bring to the world in that space. So anyway, that'll be fun. And I hope you're along for the ride. I appreciate you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I hope you're safe. If you're traveling, I hope you get where you're going safely and not too annoyingly. Traveling at this time of the year can just be a nightmare. So just breathe, relax, enjoy. If you're going to the snow, enjoy the snow. If you're going on vacation, enjoy your vacation. Whatever you're doing, just take a breath, look around, enjoy it. Because this is all there is. This is it, right? Be here now. This is it. So, anyway, thank you, everyone, for listening to the podcast, and have some cool guests lined up in the next year. And one more podcast before the end of the year, but I won't talk to you again before Christmas. So have an amazing Christmas. Have an amazing New Year's. If you celebrate something else, have an amazing that. And yeah. See you, everybody. Thanks again for listening.
Said to myself, this affair ain't never gonna go too well. But why should I try to resist when, baby, I know too well that I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything come what might for the sake